There has been a sudden spurt in the number of police encounters in Punjab. The Punjab police is under scanner for these encounters. Are these reminiscent of what had happened in the 80s and 90s? I'm Ruchika M. Khanna, and in today's episode of Decode Punjab, I'm joined by my colleague Jupinderjeet Singh. Jupinderjeet ji, has there been an increase in the number of police encounters? Is saal kinne encounter hoye ne?
Yes, this is a very, very burning issue. There is no exact data available because the police is not sharing the data. But as per the news reports, which we have gathered from our field reporters, and some data which was available, more than 50 encounters have taken place this year.
In 7 months, more than 50 encounters?
Yes, and nearly 40 of those were in the first 4 months only. Okay. So if you see, it's about 210 days of this. So an encounter is taking place every 4th day. So this trend is, yes, it is very alarming. But in this, last 1.5 year, we are looking at a lot of encounters. They started in November 2023. Then in 2024, there were 64 encounters. This is like police data. 64 encounters admitted by police. And now plus this 50 plus now.
So more than 100 encounters in less than a year?
Yeah, more than 100. And you see 64 were in the entire 12 months of last year. And now it is already crossed 50 mark. 50 mark is definitely there. And it is just a half year has.
So who are the people who are getting encountered? Are these drug smugglers? Are these some wayward criminals? Who are these people who are getting encountered?
It is a mix, but more than 80% are gangsters.
Okay.
Who were arrested by police, and then there some encounter took place either while arresting, or in most cases the encounter took place when police took them to some crime spot or took them to a place where they had hid their weapons.
ਪਰ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਪੁਰਾਣੀ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ। ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਬ ਰਿਪੋਰਟਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਆ ਤੋਂ 22-23 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਜਿਵੇਂ the similar thing that happened in Fazilka.
Yes, exactly. So बहुत uncanny resemblance है, like you remember that initially ਜਦੋਂ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ crackdown ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ on drugs, ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕ same FIR ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ which was like in 40.
Yeah, I mean it's replicated everywhere.
So same is now, it's the same modus operandi. A man is caught, and then he is taken to a place to recover a weapon, and then they say ਕਿ ਉਸਨੇ weapon ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਕੱਢਣ ਵੇਲੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਗੋਲੀ ਚਲਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ. So cops are also injured. It is not that cops are not injured, and then police will shot at the criminal, and but fortunately I think there are two deaths unfortunately, and otherwise it's the injuries are only on legs.
On the police personnel or also on the accused?
On the accused. Police personnel have been hit in shoulder and in hand. But criminals mostly on legs. Okay. There's two deaths, one of which was by the team which got involved in the Colonel Bhatt case.
Yeah. Jupinderjeet ji, opposition parties have been making all kinds of allegations. Most of the opposition leaders वो बार-बार ये कह रहे हैं कि पंजाब एक police state बनता जा रहा है. Do you agree with their charge?
See, there is this comparison. Of course, opposition is making this allegation, but a comparison is being made to the terrorism days, where a lot of innocents were picked up and they were killed, right? But in so far, no one is saying that any innocent has been killed. People whose sons have been injured in these encounters, they don't say that our son was innocent. I'm not saying in all the cases, all the 100, about 10 cases or so. There are like isolated cases where the parents are saying that no, our son was innocent, he was not involved in kidnapping or any place, like happened in that Patiala encounter case. But otherwise, it's like not completely like the terrorism days.
But does it not get to the head of the police, as we've seen in the Colonel Bhatt case? They came after, having a police encounter. They come, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੋਂ ਚੜਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਸਰੂਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਨ ਦਾ, ਐਨਕਾਊਂਟਰ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ, ਤੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਉਹ they indulge in all this police high-handedness.
Yes.
How do you explain that?
Yeah.
This is something exactly what happened in the Colonel Bhatt case.
Exactly. They were on a high and they targeted a person who for them was a civilian. It later turned out that he was an army officer. So you see a difference between weapon in the hand of a police officer and a criminal is this, that police officer has to use it responsibly. So, but in this case, it doesn't seem that they were using it responsibly. Okay, there is another theory when we talk to police officials, and they say that, you know, this is, we don't do it. We don't stage manage any encounter. These encounters happen naturally. These are all organic encounters. But you know, some whisper that okay, this is kind of this will instill fear. You know, there were some snatchers also who were shot. So this will instill fear among gangsters and among others, because there is
But
too
it
much,
doesn't seem it's instilled any fears. I mean, considering the way the gangster activities
and the
have been
extortions.
increasing and the extortion calls are being made.
Yes.
Yeah.
Police
Jupiter ji,
can't take just law in their hands. This is for the court to decide.
so what is the politics of these encounters?
Politics is that the Aam Aadmi Party had promised that we will end gangsterism in Punjab. So that was one of their main promise. Their promise was about to end the drug smuggling. Like no one can end drug addiction and smuggling from anywhere in the world.
No,
But
but
they
there are
said they
other
will
ways
check
to
it.
end it. I remember, obviously, you would also remember in the past decade, the governments prior to the present government, you know, the political will to allow police to go in for encounters was never given. There was
Yes,
there was no
during
political
the,
during either the Akali BJP time or during the Congress time. So, do you think that
There were some isolated incidents, but not like this. This did not seem a policy. Now it seems as a policy that we will be, you know, using firearms quite liberally. I will not say freely, I will say quite liberally. And the most uncanny thing is, you know, the same modus operandi, the same place. So either, you know, police has raided a place, okay,
I'd
and
like
then
to-
there is a exchange of fires. That is understandable.
recently a screenshot of a WhatsApp group message. It went viral on social media. It was alleged at that point of time that those messages were of a police commissioners and the DGP group, wherein the DGP was lauding certain police officers for you know
For an-
indulging in police encounters,
Yeah.
and the others were being rebuked. Was it? What is the truth behind this?
Well, officially they deny it, that no, this was all fake, and you know, it was a fake shot. It was not of our group. The spelling of the DGP were like really incorrect in that. So they say that this was some parody or something like that. So police will never admit that. And
Do you think the police officers have been given targets for encounters? Just like they've been given targets कि ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੇ drug smugglers ਫੜਨੇ ਨੇ, ਇੰਨੀ drug ਦੀ recovery ਹੋਣੀ
See,
ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀਤੀ
I
ਹੋਇਆ.
don't think so that they will give targets, but yes, there is always this in their meetings. There is always this direction that whosoever, you know, like this is what the CM and the DGP have said in a press conference, that the performance of a SSP will be gauged from the action against drugs and gangsters. That they are on record saying this, but not on record saying that you use your firearms, you know, freely.
So no lessons have been learned from the past. We've had in the past 2 months, we've had 2 major convictions of incidents where people who were claimed, you know, to be involved in terrorist activities in the 80s or 90s. You know, the cops who had indulged in these extrajudicial killings, they are the ones who've been sentenced. Even yesterday, life term has been given to 5 cops.
Yes.
So no lessons have been learned. I mean, ultimately, the long arm of law will catch up with them.
It
somehow
will
or
catch up,
later.
and see now, as we discussed earlier, that it doesn't seem that any innocent has been, you know, targeted so far. Earlier during terrorism, people were picked up and they were branded as terrorists. But so far, no case has come up. This doesn't mean that, you know, you give a clean chit to police. This doesn't mean that.
But the law does not allow for
Yes.
for
So-
encounters.
Yeah. So now, you know, I think they are on the verge where they will start picking innocents if it is not checked. Because this is the trend. Initially, they will pick the persons who are really responsible. And when, you know, this is related to awards and promotions like during terrorism. So when you do an encounter and you're awarded and you're promoted, then people will pick up innocence. So this has to stop, and you are totally right. Police can't be a law unto themselves. There is judiciary for that. Even judiciary has to decide, like we are saying, because not many families have objected, right? But judiciary will say that yes, these are innocent people who you have shot.
I'm diverging a little bit from this topic and going to ask you, there was this movie by Diljit Dosanjh. Private screening of that movie has been going on. It's about the same issue. Do you think,
Jaswant Singh
yeah, the
Khalra.
Jaswant Singh Khalra. It's called Punjab 95.
Yeah.
So, don't you think movies like this, though it's banned in India, I mean, it cannot be publicly screened, but don't you think movies like this should act as a deterrent for Punjab police? Now that they have much more systems in place, they have much more, more scientific methods to probe incidents. Why would they still go in for these encounters and extrajudicial means?
Yeah, so there are two aspects of this. One is that, the way retired cops are being convicted now. So this all started with the, that human rights thing started by Jaswant Singh Khalra 3 decades ago. And these all are cases which have emerged.
I believe you're from the same village as Mr. Khalra.
Yes, I am. I belong to Khalra village. And so Jaswant Singh Khalra had said that 25,000 innocent youths were killed in Punjab, and most of the bodies were dumped in the canals. So all these cases have emerged out of this. This yesterday's case, which was reported today, in this, not only these were not the civilians who were killed, 7 special police officers, the SPOs, who were recruited, especially in those time, they were killed. So this is all starting. This is not just one case. There are I think dozens of such cases where convictions are done. But apparently no lessons have been learned, and police is going back to that time, which is very dangerous. That's why I say that it seems that if you start awarding people with promotions like the Patiala guys, all those 10 cops, they were given promotions, they were given certificates for rescuing the kidnapped boy, and one of the kidnappers was also killed. But they went and attacked an army officer, and now there is a CBI case against that. So if you will give them unbridled power, this is what they will resort to. Jaswant Singh Khalra's, this thing is the second aspect is that it may not be possible for the police to go totally free, like animals against innocents, because now there is so much of social media. Now there is CCTV coverage. Now all the police stations have CCTVs. How much of those are working is a different story, but at least they are.
I hope it's not positioned the way the CCTVs are positioned in the Tehsil offices of Punjab.
Yeah.
They face anywhere and everywhere other than the places
the
where
focus
it should be. Yeah.
Where it should be, yes.
Yeah.
So now there is more CCTV coverage, if not at the police station, at the streets and other places. So it is not easy for the police to pick up anyone, take him to police station and, and indulge in torture or something. That is why all these encounters have taken place where there is no CCTV, So
all outside
it can be well planned, it can be a coincidence. But, it's at some random places, some old house, some, kind of a jungle area where the weapons or some were hidden. So I mean, police need to learn lessons from that.
Thank you, Jupinderjeet ji. Thank you, viewers, for watching this episode of Decode Punjab. We at the Tribune hope that encounters are an exception and not the rule for Punjab Police. Thank you for watching this episode of Decode Punjab. Do continue to follow us on all our social media handles across X, on Instagram and on Facebook. Thank you.